All right, welcome to the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. I'm Joey Calvo. Please continue to help out the victims of the Texas floods as well as the California wildfires. They do really still need help in reference to rebuilding. So reach out to those charities that work with them directly. And so today we have Dr. E.K. Mallela, and he is a clinical hypnotherapist, leadership coach, and author of the Amazon bestseller Better You, From Dysfunction to Leadership Through Communication. He's helped high achievers from CEOs to everyday professionals break through internal chaos. Excuse me. There we go. Break through internal chaos, find their power, and create a life of aligned success. So, Dr. Mallela, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you,
Joe. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so explain to us, who is E.K. Mallela? How did he become a hypnotherapist? How did he get to where he's at right now?
Yes, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
There is some
static. Let me adjust my.
Okay.
One second.
Probably multiple things. Okay. There's an
echo.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. We're good.
Okay. I'm hearing
an echo from.
Okay. Give me one moment. I apologize for the technical difficulty, folks.
Also, your screen is kind of frozen. It's buffering.
There you go. Yeah. So continue on.
Okay. Now a lot better. So I'm not hearing the echo. Thank you for adjusting that, Joey. So thank you for introducing me. Yes, I am the leadership coach, and I am a founder of a Better You movement and founder of Transcend Mind. So as you asked, Joey, before I became hypnotherapist, how did I end up being here doing what I am doing best in helping people reach their unlimited potential, and also helping corporations enjoy a reduced turnover through employee wellness programs. Before I started journey, I was like anyone else, working in corporate 9 to 5, doing my grind, going through pushing hard and achieving success. It was like pushing hard is only way to achieve success, and I pushed hard my way, achieving all the credentials. Still, I wasn't making breaking through to be my best, and either in communications to in relationships to a lot of things were like almost my life was on the second best script. At this time, I was also diagnosed with ADHD, and I had some past trauma I was going through, and I needed to know all the answers to mine, because it was very puzzling to me how much ever brilliant I was, how much ever skilled I was at the things I do, it was still my mind is not there. I mean, like when I need it. So I needed to know an answer. So I traveled from all the way from Kashmir to Scotland, understanding the best theories of mind, studying Kashmir Shaivism, Ayurveda, meditation. I studied almost every fact about mind and how change work applies to the mind, almost from every where that is being taught, and almost to the extent that I became so effortless in my execution. I was quickly promoted to becoming an executive. I completed my doctorate, and I completed my leadership training from Harvard and MIT. And during this time, I also had some incidents that kind of shifted my way of thinking. During this time, one of my colleague, due to high stress, entered into coma, and he stayed in coma for 6 weeks, 6 years actually, and then still suffering from side effects of it. And also a lot of people around me were still experiencing burnout and not being, able to be at their best. And this was kind of heartbreaking for me. Even though I have achieved the mastery I needed, it was like I felt like what I have is not just a competitive advantage, but it's kind of a need for everyone, uh, that they need to understand the importance of their biggest asset, the mind and body, and how to attain goals more effortlessly. So that's why I found Transcend Mind and started Better You movement, where people want to be better, look better, feel better, think better, do effortlessly, but often. Uh, they kind of give up because they try. What do they try? Like motivation tricks, pushing hard, and like at the end, it's like pain and gain is the only way, right? So but that is not true. So I started this counterintuitive approach where people can step into their self actualization, like being into the highest self. And during this time, I also got board certified in clinical hypnotherapy. I studied at Milton Erickson Foundation in Arizona, understanding all the concept Milton Erickson used to use in hypnotherapy, in treating people, and in helping people achieve their unlimited potential. So I started applying that to my clients, and I was stunned myself when I was able to like help a client who was a constant, who wanted to be a traveler, and YouTube content creator, but was stuck in 9 to 5 because he had a recent grief due to his father passing away, and he got addicted to porn. So due through hypnotherapy and some leadership coaching, I was able to completely change his mindset to the extent that he completely quit porn, and he was started traveling. He became the successful traveler today that he always wanted to be. So similar cases after that, I started working with various people with various issues and various goals that they want to achieve. Some wanted to be a successful trader, some wanted to be successful at their corporate jobs, and some wanted to start their own business. Through the mind mastery techniques from East and West, I started helping people achieve their unlimited potential. More importantly, they were doing this without any burnout or without getting addicted to all these compulsions and unwanted behaviors, even the thoughts, to the extent that they were feeling better, they were thinking better. Every day they would wake up and just go about their goals. How nice it would be, Joe, right? So we often think that that is not possible. We have to work through, push through, use, drink so much coffee. I mean, to just to say I haven't touched coffee in last 6 to 8 years. So I wake up every day without any caffeine or tea, and able to run my day through, with so much of energy than what coffee can give, because I can self hypnotize myself as well. So that's the extent of change I was able to bring in people. And so that's why I started doing what I am. And recently we also started what is called leadership council, for especially leaders in tech and various other fields, where we are helping them uh, meet each other through peer connections. That way they are not only achieving this level of mind mastery, but also understanding the challenges in their area, and how to navigate the current innovations and scale that is happening in the world. So we also offer what is called employee wellness programs to corporates, where we are bringing this to entire businesses, where the employees, lose weight, lose the risk of diabetics, lose the risk of having the obesity and blood sugar, and able to feel 7 years anger and have tons of energy. This way that not only boosts the company productivity, but also helps reduce the turnover. Cost of rehiring an employee has you know jumped up so much that it costs more to rehire employee than to sustain an employee these days. The retention is the biggest kind of problem in most companies, and we were able to not only improve the engagement through our Better You programs for the companies, but we are able to help them, improve their results and engagement as well.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm in the process right now of. I was just diagnosed. Well, I was diagnosed with diabetes in 2023, and with the obesity being that I'm at least 236 pounds, we're in the process of working on improving that, and you know, finding ways of losing the weight. I mean, I've attempted to go through like trials, clinical research trials, but they said my BMI was too high for them to even do it. And I'm like, oh, if you're saying this, well, why couldn't you do it? Because I'm over that. It would be just a good into research is what you want. It's just about the same thing. It's just want to get this belly fat out of me. So I can feel better, look better, enjoy life better. Um, but that's a whole different podcast of its own. So um, explain about mastering the inner game of success.
Yes, that is a great question, Joey. Like you said, like you are experiencing the limitations, right? When you wanted to be some better and look better, the obesity has gone beyond your control and the weight is gone. So it is like the inner game is like completely turned against us, right? So a lot of people experience this, like we are self-sabotaging, we are feeling the shame, we are feeling the
Mm-hmm.
anger, we are feeling the fear. Oh, if I take up this challenge of losing weight or doing this, I know it's going to be a waste of time, and or I'm a fear of actually losing what I need to do to make the money, right? So I may be sabotaging that. So we are self-sabotaging in a way to protect our main, source of income or source of relationships. So we self-sabotage ourselves to the extent that we want to do the things, but we are doing in a way that our inner game is lost. So this happens not because of our fault. This happens because the way our mind works. So our mind works in layers. Our mind works in three layers. There's first layer called conscious layer. Conscious layer is our where you are making analysis, decisions, and will using the willpower. We think that conscious effort is the all our effort. Like we try to overanalyze, we try to think, and we try to make decisions, and we push through all our willpower. But that the reality is the conscious brain is only 10% of our brain. And then we have the second layer of the brain called amygdala, or the fear center. This is kind of a
What was
brain
that
that
again? What was that again?
amygdala, amygdala,
Spell it,
amygdala,
please.
AMYGDLA.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm taking notes,
Yeah.
believe it or not, as I'm listening
Yes.
to you.
Yes, that's great. So this part of the brain, actually, if you look at dinosaurs, they just have amygdala. Most animals are high in amygdala, but for humans, it's like a peanut-sized brain. But you believe it or not, that controls our entire inner game, because that one gets activated. That tiny peanut-sized brain get activated and takes control of our entire limbic system, parasympathetic nervous system, prefrontal cortex, and every part of our cells, because that is activated by anytime you experience fear, anytime you experience anger, anytime you experience self doubt, anytime you're feeling frustrated, or any of the things that are negative will activate that, and then that takes over control of it, because it kind of spreads through and started releasing adrenaline and serotonin, and all that sympathetic reactions start kicking in, where we are in a fight and flight response, in always trying to quickly respond, analyze, decide, and push through. There's no time to relax and think, and be very executive, be very strategic. See, a lot of success comes when you are strategic and executive, using your memory, using forming an habit, instead of like going pushing through, right? So the our inner game should be that of a very strategic person, very relaxed, very executive. Because when you are at that level, you can ace any goal. Because I mean, any person that fixes their bed can fix anything in the wall, right? Because they are able to do something successfully. That means they can replicate that success over and over again. Because that should be your inner game. That should be your theory, that you are a successful person. You can achieve what you want and live the way you want to live your life. Be fit and be productive, be financially free. But a lot of times we are not chasing the goals. We are chasing all this turmoil, social media addictions, and we are chasing unwanted things. And by the end of the day, like day goes by, you're kind of did the secondary jobs, being the second best. So where did all the inner game go? Because we are not using the third layer of our mind, which is the unconscious layer. This unconscious layer, believe it or not, is 90% of your mind capacity, because that contains of trillions of your cells. It contains your parasympathetic nervous system. It contains your most important function, the executive functioning prefrontal cortex, and it contains the cerebral system. So this is like your 90% of your mind memory processing capacity is not coming to use, because this unconscious mind is like a lotus. It's like a flower. It kind of shields itself whenever there is a fear, whenever there is self doubt, whenever there is anger, whenever there is shame. So this vicious cycle kind of blocks the unconscious from executing itself, executing your memories, executing your triggering your successes. Because every time we feel we are experiencing failures or setbacks, and oh, we think this is cannot be done, we cannot start over again. There are people who can start at age of 90, because suddenly they see the success is triggered, right? They can think successfully from there on. What if you can activate all this unconscious mind, and then what would your inner game be, right? So that would be different. So our in order for a person to ace their inner game, they have to be able to ace this unconscious mind in a way that it's not being covered by this amygdala, or the fear center, which is overwhelming us, which is causing us a self doubt. Instead, if you're at your own best self by using your unconscious capacity, you're using your memory, you're using your executive function. Your life will look like a very strategic person, where you have set your goals, where you have set your value events, where you're achieving your financial success, where you're achieving your bigger goals, where you're achieving the kind of relationship you want. And more importantly, the thoughts you have, the feelings you have, you are no longer carrying this baggage of the past, of everything that is holding you back, but now you're carrying the baggage of the future. That's a different game when you're carrying the baggage of the future, where it is saying that, hey, you need to be this, you can be this, and you do this right now for it. So that's a different kind of inner game. In order for us to ace it, we have to uh, activate that unconscious mind to work as an autopilot, because whatever happens at the conscious level is like is autonomous, very automatically triggered. All our behaviors, thoughts, feelings, nobody can control. Even the most seasoned therapists, they cannot cure procrastination or any ADHD or any kind of they just able to give some advice and ask you to adjust to the things, but there is no cure. Because why? because those are automated. Those depend on how your unconscious is triggering them. So for you, you're controlling the flood instead of controlling the broken bridge, right? So you have to build the dam, build the bridge, and then you're able to control the flow of your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. So your inner game, acing that inner game is very important. So that's where your focus should be there. That's where I am able to help you uh, through our coaching, where we are able to rewire your inner game, reprogram your inner game to the extent that the amygdala doesn't affect you anymore. You're no longer feeling any fears, frustrations, self doubts, unwanted things, procrastinating. But you are like a relaxed individual and saying, okay, these are my 10 things for today. This is my life goals. I want to be at this weight. I want to achieve this financial freedom. And you are waking up and you're automatically on autopilot, able to execute those things because your inner game is driving you. You feel like you're just absorbing in a driver's seat and enjoying your own show of you getting into action.
And we lost him a little bit in reference to voice. Um, so what he just said got cut out. So I apologize for the technical difficulties with this. So Dr. Bill, can you explain a little bit about the that conscious layer again, very quickly? A brief summary.
Yes, so conscious layer has does three functions: making the decisions, and analyzing and using the willpower. So the conscious layer is very limited in capacity, but we tend to use that over and over again and think that that is the only way to achieve success instead of mastering our inner mind.
Okay, so decisions, analyzing. What was the third one?
Willpower.
Willpower. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go into the book, Better You Leadership from Dysfunction to Communication. And I'm going to have you explain that, and then we're going to go from there. And there's a third question that we're going to discuss. So we'll be right back, folks. Bear with us.
All right, you're back.
I do apologize for the technical difficulties. We are back. Um, of course, internet, good old T-Mobile. As soon as people are using the internet and using the Wi-Fi, it causes problems. So, Dr. Mallela, thank you so much for your patience in reference to um, getting back on. Um, so, before the break, we talked about the mastering the inner game of success. So now we're going to talk about your book, which is um, Better You from Dysfunction to Leadership Through Communication. So can you explain about the book and go into detail about it?
Yes, thank you. So the book is almost written about 6 months ago, and it became a number one Amazon bestseller. The book is kind of your foundation. Yeah, if you to mastering your mind and achieving the success you want to. So it teaches you the principle of self actualization. Self actualization, as Abraham Maslow said, is there are 5 level of needs in self actualization. The highest
Okay.
level of need is the meeting your purpose and goal. But most often we are stuck in the level 1 to level 4 of meeting our needs of basic needs, security, relationship, or accomplishment. But we often are not able to step into the level 5 of being ourselves. But our mind, the way it works is it has a natural tendency to self actualize, and you cannot be happy until that level 5 needs are met for you. So you have to be purposeful, you have to be goal oriented. That's when you will unlock your happiness, unlimited potential, and everything. So this book teaches you how to eliminate all the dysfunctions that are in your way, including your unwanted thoughts and unwanted feelings, and be able to step into that purpose and goal oriented being where you are on autopilot, achieving your leadership goals, your communication goals, your sales goals, or your profit goals, your financial goals. When you step into that level 5, all these goals become like you're attracting them versus chasing them. So, how do you step into it? This book goes through the 5 step process of achieving that self actualization and mastering that self actualization. And it will also give you key fundamentals of neuro linguistic programming, how to apply them. It will also help you understand a key concept called ledgering for your success, and how to turn your conscious effort and able to meet that unconscious effort accordingly. So the book provides you both the tools, the science, and the art of success. It is almost like a success scientist is guiding you when you read the book. You will go through understanding the success principles and how to be successful, more importantly, effortlessly, without any burnout or unwanted thoughts and feelings.
Okay. All right. So you're saying that we're stuck in 4 levels, and what were those 4 levels again?
The 4 levels of Maslow's hierarchy, or the first level is basic needs. So we often think meeting, having the food, shelter, housing, the material needs, or everything, having the temperature, sex. But what do you do when you get a house, right? You immediately look for security, you install security cameras, you want to be more secure, you want to find more peace, you want to be tranquil, you start putting up art around, you find a good couch that will relax you. So actually you realize after meeting the basic need of food or home or something, that you're actually what you needed was the peace, the second level of need, the security needs. But then once you have the security needs, the second level of needs, you often realize that, oh, I have the security now. I have so much security that I can share with somebody. Now, all of a sudden, you want to share, you want to love, you want to meet with people. Suddenly, you realize that actually my need is to be in relationship. All the relationship need kicks in. We want to be in love, and all of a sudden, when you're in relationship, when you're love, when you're with people, all of a sudden you feel like you're a performer. You like a mom with her son feels like she can stop a cannonball and do thousand things. So when you're in relationship, that kind of motivates you and make you a high performer. All of a suddenly you feel like you want to accomplish something. So suddenly you realize that, oh, my needs are not the basic needs of food and shelter, not that of peace, but not that of relationship, but I want to accomplish that way. I can be bigger, right? And then when we get to the fourth level, then we realize that I'm not still fulfilled. Why? Because I'm not purposeful, I'm not goal oriented. So we often go the upside down, like trying to get to the food and sex and the house and everything, then realize we needed peace, then realize we needed the relationship, then realize we needed accomplishment. So this is like always falling for the trick of the cycle, and then fall once you have some accomplishment, ego kicks in, and then you started having conflicts, and then you feel like your self-esteem is hurt with everything, because you're not driven by purpose. You're driven by the basic needs, you're driven by security needs, you're driven by relationship. Until you're driven by purpose, you're not stepping into your self actualization. So the four levels of needs seems like is what you need, but they are always the highest need is what you actually need. That automatically brings in the other needs. So when you are purposeful and have the food and have the relationship, have the uh, have the security and have the accomplishment according to your level 5, like your purpose, Joey, is to run the podcast and reach out to more people and create a change in the society. So that purpose, when you're driving at that purpose, the other needs are met, right? But we often mistake that, oh, I am actually trying to meet this basic need. That's why I am being purposeful. We think the other way around. So the self actualization is a different concept, where you are thinking that being purposeful is what brings you the food, being purposeful is what brings you the security, being purposeful is what brings you the relationship, being purposeful is what brings you the accomplishment. So that's the mind shift we are trying to bring in with at the unconscious layer, not just the conscious layer, through hypnosis.
Okay. All right. Give me one moment. And so we 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 talked about the book. We talked about um the um realizing that we need some self actualization in reference to it. Um, and so, um, one other thing you mentioned, and I'd like you to discuss, is what is capital magnetism and emotional mastery?
Yes, thank you for asking that. So capital magnetism is a very important concept, because see, we often a lot of people have this bad notion about money, like money is evil, money, but money is the needed, right? So America is founded on capitalism, and we are a capital market economy. Also the way our I don't know why the forefathers have coined that way, that we need to be a market economy and capital society, but it probably relates to the way our mind works too, because we are driven by the values. The values are directly tied to a capital. Like, there is, let's say there is a product that you buy, there is a value for it, that it will be useful for you in XYZ. There is a service that you buy, there is a value for it that will be useful for you in XYZ. It will drive certain benefits. So everything has a value, and these values are capitalized, let's say, to This product is a $50 product when you buy a protein powder versus this product is a $100 product. How do you capitalize that, right? Because that is the amount of value it provides. Our mind thinks the same way. Our mind thinks almost like a capital magnet. It knows the value of this event, the value of this podcast, the value of this product, this service, this person. So our mind automatically calculates the value and capitalizes everything. But because of this bad notion about money and other things, we often try to ignore the very fact of the way our mind naturally is working. When you realize that and you try to understand the capital associated with each and every thought, every event, every activity you're doing, instead of trying to chase this actual natural process, you will adjust to the natural process of the mind. Like this podcast is worth, let's say, $1 million for you over the 10 years, you will work towards that $1 million, right? Same way, when you understand.
Wish it was worth that right now.
Yeah. So when you realize that capitalism, you're magnetically attracted to drive that action, drive that strategy. You will put all your effort in because this is worth $1 million to you. When you realize that, your mind naturally is smiling and saying, "Hey, I will do everything right now." See, that realization comes automatically, and you're thinking, "What should I do next? What should I do next?" That's because your mind is thinking that way. When you give your mind the capital value of your podcast, your food, your everything, you will eliminate all the things that are not valuable. Like there are we put like 8 hours of effort into pennies by automatically. If you don't realize the value of important thing, like, okay, my podcast is worth $1 million, my other two activities of me controlling diabetics is worth $1 million, me controlling the weight is $1 million. So there are $1 million events that you will prioritize and your mind will prioritize. More importantly, when you write down the capital value of 10 things, and you are naturally magnetized to drive success for it.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that's the power of capital magnetism.
Okay. Yeah, because the re and I do want to it bring out that um, folks in reference to the last couple of days of podcasts and stuff. There was podcasts um, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week, and unfortunately, I wind up going to the hospital because I wasn't feeling too good. To find out I was dehydrated and food insecurity, and it wind up giving me low blood pressure and stuff. So I was being taken care of. So as I'm realizing that, that being a scare, because that was a first, because I'm never. I mean, I've been told I was always dehydrated, but never this bad. To the part where they were putting IVs of iron in me. They put like three IVs of iron. So that's how bad it was. And the doctors were like, they were like, you took a hit. And so, I'm realizing now how much my life does mean to me in keeping these podcasts on, because, it's supposed to be about the guest, but at the same time, I'm sharing me, because right now, I'm not working. This podcast is what's getting me by, and like you're saying, doctor, in reference to putting values on everything, in reference to this podcast being worth $1 million in 10 years, losing weight and losing the belly fat is worth $1 million, and getting over the diabetic, being getting over the diabetes is worth $1 million. Like half the time in my mind, I'm like, I wish it was now that I could see that $1 million, and that I could put focus to it and saying, okay, you know, we got this, we could do this with no problem. It's like you have to see it to do it. That's my thinking. But at the same time, with these podcasts, and making sure that I've got everything going, and making sure that the viewers are enjoying it, and actually in reference to when we taking the breaks for these ads that I'm putting in, right now those ads are what I would ask people, the viewers, to connect to, because that starts that process of bringing that value into the podcast. Um, so, um, so in reference to the capital magnetism, and just bear with me one moment, because I got thrown off a little bit here, but staying within the so and the emotional mastery, it's I'm seeing it, because what I did was, I've been honest with this podcast to a point where I've gone through therapists and psychologists, and they really didn't help me. And and I actually started the self actualization within about a month or two ago, and so I started to realize, well, I needed this part of the therapy, or what I call in therapy now. So I started going back to church for the first time in 18 years, and that's been a help. I'm starting to, understand myself a little more. I was one of those people that had very low self-esteem, because being in school I was picked on and put down and so on, and I've started to realize to actually that that there is a better me, and you're explaining that through the Better You leadership, from the dysfunction to the the communication. So I started to see that well, since I'm going to church and starting to have more faith in myself, I can handle everything. And actually, what led to why I went to the hospital, I was like, this is concerning. I better look into this. And I have other supports, so I do have a support circle right now as well. Which that's one thing that you didn't even mention. I mean, you mentioned relationships, but how would a support circle be very, very important in the self actualizations?
Yes, that's you brought up a very interesting concept and asked a very bright question here. Yes, the support circle makes all the difference. Even I go to church every Sunday. I'm a high priest at LDS. So the faith kind of helps me a lot in saying staying sin free and free from any adulteration. So the support circle means a lot, because if you are surrounded by five people that are lazy, you end up being lazy. But if you are in a circle of five people who are highly successful executives, you will end up being successful. Why this makes a huge difference is because if you think of yourself, imagine yourself as a circle. Your mind is a circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can break this down into three pies, three sections. Your
Okay.
mind, think of your mind is like a information circle.
Okay.
So we take in all the information and we process it, and then we do something about it, right? So that's how our
Okay.
mind works. And all this information, where is it coming from? It is coming from one thought, from our internal state, the way we are feeling, what is happening, our past experiences, all things we want to do. But that is only one third of what you or mind is experiencing. The one third, another one third of what is your mind is experiencing is coming from environment, the processes, the tools you are with, like you're using this Steam and the YouTube, all these things, processes you are, all these are giving you the outcomes. All your outcomes depend on not just internal state but your environment, right? The tools you use, the processes you're in. But then there is a third piece of the puzzle, that relationship, the environment, the community. So all these three equally contribute towards your outcome, like the all the communities, the groups, the circles. That's why we started executive council for all the leaders, where we gather all the leaders together, where they are talking to each other and doing the challenges and exercises to achieve the higher outcome. This makes a huge difference, because that is almost one third of what is driving your outcome. What you are, if you define yourself, is a combination of your internal state, your environment, and your relationship or the communities you are part with. So it is important for you to fill these three pies in order to achieve any outcome. You have to have the required people involved, required environment involved, required internal state involved. We often think that all to achieve anything, our internal state is everything. We have to push through our emotions, push through our memory, use all our capacity. But it often depends on what the other people can contribute, what the tools you have available, what process you follow. So it is important for you to balance for success of anything, the relationship, communities you are involved with, and the tools and processes, and then your internal state. So it is very important, Joey, like you asked, do I have to, how much big difference it makes going to church and being part of communities where they are always achieving something bigger, right? Like the church is always helping you become sin free and stay on the faith path, and think of even bigger outcomes. Same with when you are in communities with successful people, you're driving success. When you are in communities with people who are doing nothing, you are end up being one of them. So it is very important choice. As a kid, we always made the choice to stay away from the bad influence, and to uh, that's why we ended up being where we are right now. That's what drove our success a lot. So it is important to choose who you speak to. It is important to set that healthy boundary, to say no to anything that is influencing you negatively, because that is directly affecting your outcome, your $1 million every time you're
Mhm.
surrounded by a person that you don't want to, or influencing, not helping your outcome. You need to put that on a healthy boundary and add in the people that will contribute to your outcome, either influencing it or directly or indirectly. It is very important, because one third of the outcome depend on the people that you are interacting every day and in your life and in your profession. So it is very important to surround yourself with the right people.
Okay. Now, another thing that I do, doctor, is I do a lot of questioning of myself in reference to that. Is that a really good? Well, I, I'm not saying I question myself, but I question everything.
Yes.
Is that a good positive process in reference to
Yes.
in
So
reference to being a better you?
yes, that is actually a good process, but it is also important to know what question you are asking, because not every question, the question itself has an answer most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the question, you will get the answer. So it
Yeah.
is important to ask the question, right question. Every question you ask should have three things. One is it should be a positive question, because we are asking for a positive outcome, because your
Yeah.
question should always ask for what is the positive intent of it. The very first thing
Mm-hmm.
you have to always ask is, w- there should be always a positive answer. So your question should frame in a way you get a positive answer. Secondly, your question should ask a deeper question, deeper answer, ask, seek for a deeper answer, not a
Okay.
surface level answer, because it should answer the very root of the problem. And
Okay.
thirdly, your question should answer, is it relating to my purpose, my goals. When
Mhm.
you are
Okay.
asking the questions that are positive and that are deeper and are related to your goals, you're asking the right question. If you're
Hmm.
asking questions but that are not that are not getting you positive answers, that means you're not asking the right question. I know one of my friend who was schizophrenic. He was thinking he know that he's getting a false reality, but the problem with him was he was asking the wrong answer. Like he was trying to react to it and ask the question of what do I do, what do I do, this ask the thousand question, but he never asked a positive question. What is the positive thing about this to me? What is the deepest need that it will fill for me? What is the purpose of, what is the goal that it will answer me? So when he started asking the right question, okay, all this reality is fine, but what is the positive part for me? What is the need it will fill me? What is the goal it will attain me? Because if it's not going to meet, Joey, your goal of $1 million podcast, you're asking the wrong question. Every question you ask should have an answer that meets your final goal, whether it is achieving $1 million to the podcast, or achieving that healthy state, or achieving the healthy relationship. If you are not asking questions that will, your answer is somehow leading towards the goal, then the question itself is wrong. So it is good practice to ask question, but it is more important that you ask the right question.
Okay. All right. Well, most of the time, and I've even said it to some people. I'm like, sometimes you need to question what you're doing in reference to relationships, even because I've come across people um, who thought they had a great relationship and are treated like trash, or um, um, or realizing that um, relationship they're in right now is not right for them. But they want to break away, but they can't because they either feel controlled or they don't have the exit door that they need to say, what, I'm done. Let me walk out that door. Um, I mean, in reference to me, when people get to know me, I leave a door open and saying, hey, if this is uncomfortable for you, there's the door. Don't be afraid to walk out. Just let me know that you are, you know, because if you don't tell me and you just flat out, leave, I'm like very, I'll get very upset about it. And, I'll be back in that depressed role, like, what was I doing, and so on. So I put up the website, folks, ekmaletta.com, and you can find them
Uh,
on Instagram at
there's,
elite.success with EK.
there's a typo. It's Mallela. There's no T in there. Mallela.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I was typing it up real quick as you were talking, and as
I
I
know.
was listening at the same time. So I do apologize for that. Um, just bear with me one moment. Yeah, I had the spelling right on the top of the on the actual video,
Yes,
but of course, I put it wrong in the comments. It's a long day.
I know. I know.
So, give me one moment. Just bear with me one moment, folks. I'll have it corrected. I'm having it corrected right now. And there we go. All right, so ekmallela.com, and like I said, on Instagram at elite.success.with.ek. So what's next for you, Dr. Mallela? What do you have coming up that people may be interested in?
Yes, so we are offering our video courses that help you. You can always buy the book, but we are also offering video courses that will help you achieve this level of success. Do reach out to me, and I will be able to help you get those. We also offer group counseling for achieving your leadership goals, your financial success. We also offer employee wellness program. If you're a business owner and you have 50 or more employees, and want to have reduced turnover and increase productivity and help all your employees lose the risk of diabetics and achieve ideal fitness and stay healthier and engage more longer. We have a wellness program designed for corporates that works really well. So do reach out to me in regards if you are interested in private coaching or our video courses or your employee wellness program for your corporation. So I will be able to install those people performance systems.
Okay. And Dr. Mullen, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thank you for how can I re-explaining to me what I'm actually doing in my quote unquote therapy right now, and realizing, that that the steps I'm taking are good, and that there is more to it that I should be looking into in reference to it, in reference to my self actualization, and being a little more having a higher self esteem and having more faith in myself, and believing in myself a little bit more, and we are working on that. I mean, at least like I said, with the church part, it's been like when I walk in the church, I'm like it's like a whole different ball game. It's like my life for an hour is just gone. And then what I actually started to do, and maybe I can make this an actual last question to you as we're going. What are your thoughts about meditation? Because what I do now is, like, when I finish church, there's a park right across the street, and I'll sit in the park for 2-3 hours and just like kind of sit there and like feel like do like a meditation type thing, and just absorbing the scenery, and what God has put out there. Do you think that's good in reference to, besides the questioning everything that I mentioned before, and the other things I've mentioned?
Yes, I mean, it is good to be one with the nature and feel relaxed. But to meditation there is a more advanced technique we teach with the meditation. It's called Spanda meditation, which is a vibrational techniques. You don't need to spend like hours for it. You just spend 5 minutes every day. We will personalize that to your vibration, and within 5 minutes you will be able to achieve that, because busy people like you and me, and we don't have like 3 hours to sit with the nature and become monks and go out of our ways to feel relaxed, right? How do we get this reset within 5 minutes? So I'm able to help people like you and every busy people get that reset within 5 minutes, and have that reset happen. So that will be a more powerful meditation, right? When you're able to get that reset. So it is important for you to relax. What you are doing is right, but how can you do it more efficiently, where you are able to drive more? What you don't have to go out of your way and be in a monk to find that relaxation.
Well, the only reason why, like I said, when I go to the park across from the church, is it's just like I just don't want to come home right away. It's just
Yes.
like I just want to get out of the house and really enjoy, what's out there.
Yes.
Another I do is if I don't do that, most people have heard I go to Atlantic City, New Jersey, and sometimes I have that walk on the boardwalk, but when I go late at night. I don't I go well. My theory, and I'm giving it away, folks. Again, in reference to those that love to go to the casinos, if you go after midnight, the crowds start to fade away. So it's like that, when you're in the casino, you got that, you feel like you're alone. You got that, personal security. But when I do on the boardwalk on the beach, in the beach section of the city, I'll walk out on the boardwalk and walk to another as I'm walking to another casino and enjoy the the serenity of being on the boardwalk, being along the ocean. Sometimes I'll even walk onto the beach, even late at night, and I'll look at the ocean and just think, of all these, all even though it feels like a relationship type thing, but I just have, I just grab, I've just absorbed, the the thoughts, someone being there with me, what I'm doing, in my, even though it's in my mind right now and not physicality. So,
Yeah, here is the catch, Joey. I mean, like, Jesus made the nature, the darkness and the light separated, and he made all these things. But the most important creation of him is you, right?
mm-hmm.
All this
Yeah.
beauty that you are trying to enjoy at the casino or in the park, there is more beautiful thing happening within you. But why are you not able to enjoy that? Why do you have to go to the park or casino to feel that difference, right? Because
I
our inner, yeah,
Oh,
that-
go ahead.
yeah,
I was just saying because I had no confidence. I wasn't a big fan of myself. I was my own worst
yeah,
enemy. And
yes, yes,
there's a bit of my past that I'm not very happy about, that I have to live with the rest of my life. So that's one thing that I can't get around. But in reference to now, it's like I'm better when I'm not at home. I feel more confident when I'm not at home. I can enjoy myself when I'm not at home. I may be upset because I'm alone
yes,
when I do these activities, but I'm starting to teach myself that, it's okay to enjoy what's out there, what God has provided, the best way possible.
yes.
So that's why I do in reference to those things.
Excellent. Yep, exactly.
And the casino thing is what I call a safe haven for me. It's like a security zone for me in reference to my past.
Yeah.
So is that truly okay to be to accept? Well, not to accept, but to I mean, with my past, um, going to a casino late at night, like I said, is my safe zone because it I can be able to enjoy being out. Is that an acceptable type of self actualization? Looking at it that way.
Yes, I mean, like I said, the environment makes a huge difference, right? So, but we don't have to go out of our way, like out of your home to achieve that, out of your, out of your, doing the work or podcast business. So, how can you achieve it within while you are getting to your goals? You don't have to move away from your goal to get all these things, because
Mm-hmm.
going towards your goal should give you the ultimate experience, the ultimate Because when you realize that goal is driving the purpose of you, which is creating all these beautiful things, right? You creating this podcast is actually creating the environment of better society.
Mm-hmm.
So when you realize that you're creating the beauty through your work, through your art, when your mind realizes that my true significance, my true enjoyment is in meeting this goal and enjoying the tools that are helping me get there, enjoying the people that are helping me get there, enjoying myself, more importantly, who God created, more importantly than all the nature and everything. Actually, he said all this is created for you. It's not the other way around.
Right.
We are like, oh, these are created, these are better than me. Why is this can't be feeling better than you? Because God has created these and given you dominion over these things. That means you are the better, most beautiful thing of his creation, and these are subservient to you. That means these are there to entertain you. You shouldn't go and chase to get that entertainment. You are actually giving these things their presence, giving, creating these tools, creating the podcast, creating, by going towards your goal. You should feel the most significant, most beautiful, most relaxed. When you realize that that is what is going to be making me feel better, then you will drive towards that more than driving towards casino or driving towards finding that park space. Instead, you're finding that you being yourself is the most beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Well, Dr. Malella, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And again, thank you so much for the lessons that you explained, not just to me, but to those that may have similar problems with their lives. And reach out to Dr. Malella, like I said, on his website or on Instagram, and he'll be happy to help you the best way possible. I thank you again, and you're welcome to come on the podcast at any time if anything new is in coming up that you want to share, or a new project of any kind. I'll be happy to help you promote it the best way possible. So, Dr. Malella, thank you so much, and thank you so much, everyone, for watching the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you all.